You can probably whatever you want. You can do whatever you want to. That's so cool.
So when we were finishing up the body for Leroy, I had an idea of a side project I wanted to do as kind of a thank you to Cleetus for letting us be involved. I knew what I wanted to accomplish, but I wasn't sure where to start. So I contacted our friends over at Horizon Hobby, and I told them exactly what I wanted to accomplish, and they were like, dude, say no more. We got you covered. So they sent us over a box. Now, you may remember this box from the previous video. It was about yay big. It had a big Losi logo on the front of it. And this video was going to be me opening that box up and showing you what was inside of it. However, little change in plans. I guess I threw that box away. It's probably in a recycling facility somewhere at this point. I don't know where it's at. So today I'm going to show you what was inside that box. We're going to do a project together, and then we're going to take it over to the Freedom Factory and give it to Cleetus. If you like this kind of content at all, please do us a favor, hit that subscribe button, smash that like button, ring that bell if you want notifications, and share it with your friends. We really appreciate it. Let's get started. So that video had a lot of comments, people saying it's got to be a custom Leroy RC car or something like that. Well, it's not. But what we do have is the perfect platform for making our own custom Leroy RC car. This is the Losi race-inspired 1/16 scale 1970 Chevy Chevelle Mini No Prep drag car. And yes, I did just read that off a piece of paper that was taped to a monitor because that's a lot. So as the name implies, this is a no prep drag car. You just buy it from horizonhobby.com. They'll ship it to you. You open the box and you're ready to go. Everything you need is inside here. All right, so what we're gonna need to do is scan the RC chassis. Then we're going to take the body that we used to make Leroy, the 3D model that we used, and we're going to pair it up with the chassis in the computer and see if they match. If they don't, we may have to make changes to one or the other in order for them to work better together. So after that, we're going to need to print it, bodywork it, paint it up, and get it over to Cleetus. So the first thing we need to do is get it out of this box. Okay, so normally you'd see me putting these reflective dots all over the car or whatever the object is that we're scanning. In this case, the object's small enough that I can just set it on this table that I already have that's covered in dots, and it's able to scan it just fine like this. The scanner needs to see just a couple dots at any given time in order to be able to maintain its position in 3D space. So I'll put a few on the car here, as you can see, but otherwise this is plenty of dots to allow me to scan this and get a pretty accurate scan off of it. The other thing we want to make sure of is the mounting points here. We want to make sure we get a good scan of those so that I can make sure the body mounting points on the body match up with the mounting points on the chassis itself. Here's the scan we got from the car. We got everything that we needed. We got the tires in there so we can make sure that we clear the tires. And then we also got the very important mounting points, which are here, 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 and here. And all the rest of this in here, we just really need to clear it. And it's kind of going to clear itself for the most part. And a lot of this stuff I'm going to go ahead and actually delete. Like this here, that's kind of just a wire that's hanging out in space. I'm going to get rid of it. And these few other parts here that are just kind of floating in space as well. Another thing I'm going to do here is just try to set up a basic alignment so that it's sitting on the ground plane properly in whatever program we take it into. And then I'm just going to do a little further cleanup on the ground plane because the edges of that are just sort of a mess. So if we just clean that up a little bit, give it some edges, separate it from the rest of the model, and then assign some colors to the different parts just to be able to tell them apart easier. And then we bring the Leroy body in, and actually I thought I was going to have to augment the chassis at some point to make this fit, maybe lengthen it or shorten it, but it turns out it fits like a glove. I didn't have to stretch it or anything. It just fits perfectly. So we just need to go through here and just double check and make sure nothing's crashing into the body, and it looks pretty good to me. Just some final adjustments here, thicken the body so that it creates a shell. And then since it's going to be printed in two pieces, I'm going to make a set of brackets that'll be bolted together before we bodywork it. And then add a set of mounting holes in the back. And then shoot it over to the 3D printer. Okay, so we got the parts out of the printer, and I went ahead and bolted everything together and bonded the polycarbonate together. So we have now one solid shell. So far, so good. Everything seems to fit pretty decent on the chassis. I may have to make slight adjustments, but I decided there's already so much going on right here in this front area with the turbos and everything sticking out that I didn't want to have the pins sticking through here for the body mounts. So instead of doing that, I decided to create another mount on the bottom that would mount directly to the chassis. So essentially it would latch over the front of the chassis and then come down, and then you would insert the pins here. And if we go ahead and test fit this, I'll put these rear pins in. It'll sit probably about right there. So. So I had to make a decision on whether or not to decal this or to just go ahead and paint it by hand with paint markers. I went the paint marker route in the interest of time. This is more of a side project, so went ahead and just painted it up. It's supposed to be a prototype. It's supposed to be a one-off handmade thing, and it looks pretty good for what it is. I did get some stickers made though. I got this sheet full of sponsor stickers set up. Basically just little stickers to tack on here to make it look a little more finished. They may not represent the way the real car is going to look, but it'll be somewhere close. All right, so now all that's left to do is add a few finishing touches, adjust the fitment so that it drives the way we want it to drive, and then that'll be it. But first we got to get these sponsor stickers on the back of the car. Yeah, so I was trying to figure out how to replicate the little pipes that come out of the waist of the turbo here and the exhaust that comes out of the side. And I went through a lot of different ways of doing that. I tried to 3D print them at first, but it's such a small piece. My printer doesn't do very good with it. So what I decided to do, Gabe at the shop actually gave me this tube. Figured just chop that down and paint it silver and throw it on there. Actually, absolutely perfect. Just fell right into place. That is so good from the front, dude. Look at that.
Yeah, it's nice. First test run.
It's clear a little better than reverse, but hey, it's not bad. Woo. So the prototype is done. Here it is. Pretty happy with it. It's very fragile, so we want to make sure we get it over to them in time before it gets destroyed. But I am going to go ahead and test it real quick, just to make sure it does the trick. Then we'll drive over there and check it out.
slid on its own.
Alright, put that thing back in the box, dude.
Next stop, Freedom Factory.
That's the only thing off limit. You show this part. It's not
Just
the
a little
turbos.
down here, down?
Yeah,
Alright,
it's not the
I like it.
turbos. We just got them done. Yeah, this might need a body one day.
Turbski, huh?
As long as we keep this one on.
I have the box now.
And the Leroy body's on it.
Dude, I just took the Leroy body,
Yeah.
shrunk it down. I thought I was gonna have to adjust the chassis or something. They have to adjust anything.
That's perfect. Let's see it. I want to see it design.
And this is a 3D printed prototype.
Yeah.
It's probably gonna blow to pieces if you hit it hard enough into the wall. But
All I've ever dreamed of is an RC car of my fleet.
I know, man.
Ford,
Ford, you know. There we go. Good old Ford stuff.
See what you got.
All right, I'm gonna try to put mine on my Ford stage. I've been trying. We had to test this thing out, and I was like, we just ran it. Try to be so nice
Try
to
not,
it.
and then I'm gonna scratch it.
You're gonna probably whatever you want. You can do whatever you want to.
That's so cool.
But yeah, man. Holy smokes.
Nice.
So
So this is just 3D print
it's all 3D printed, man. It's
with the
hand
little
painted
turbos.
out. I was gonna make stickers for it, but I didn't have the time to do it, so I just hand painted it. But it looks,
Dude, it looks
it's pretty straight. Yeah, it is.
It's perfect.
At least to get an idea of what,
Yeah, what it could be.
what it could be, you know.
Are you firing it up?
Yeah, there's a. You got it.
Oh, you know he's got to test drive this
If I
thing,
roll
man.
this thing right now.
I mean, if you hit it hard enough into something, it's literally gonna shatter. But if you,
I'll cruise it.
I'll just cruise it. It's fun. There we go.
Oh yeah, hit a burnout. Got it? Yeah. Oh yeah! This has to happen.
Oh yeah. So.
See this jack stand?
I just saw Leroy drive by. Looked like it was so far away.
Almost cooler on the RC car than it is on Leroy. Hello. Well.